It's time to get some SportSense. You're gonna get some SportSense. You better get ready for SportSense. SportSense.
Welcome back to SportSense. This is season 2, episode 4, the sports show for sports noobs. I'm Cooper Epps, and I'm here with my dad, James Epps, who is our resident sports expert. If you are new here, welcome. This is a great place if you're a beginner to sports or if you're just trying to get back into it after a long time of ignoring it like me. And if you just kind of want to know what's going on and get the scoop on things. So, Dad, how's it going over there? And tell us where you're at.
That's going well. It's great to see you. All right, I gotta get I just on my phone. We are in your mother and I are in Noonan, Georgia, south of Atlanta, about 30 minutes. It is a cool town. If anybody gets a chance to go through Noonan, Georgia, it's got the coolest old downtown. It's really a blast.
So remember, there are time codes below, so you can skip to whatever topic you're most interested in. However, we're going to try to keep this a mini episode tonight so Dad can get back to hanging out with the family. So, we got to start off with our sports speak term of the week. Here we go.
Yes.
Let us learn some sports speak. Okay. So, I know you saw this in my notes.
Yes.
But let me introduce this to the people. So, what I asked my dad to explain to us tonight is the concept of retiring a jersey. So a lot of you, as far as like language goes, are familiar with that term, probably all of you. But kind of like how we talked about with fumbles last week, I want to understand a little bit more about it, get a little bit, just slightly more in depth here, because one of the players we mentioned last week, Micah Parsons, he's a big deal because he was recently traded from the Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers. He's like one of the best players in the NFL right now. News to me, but apparently that's the case. And remind us what position he plays, Dad?
Defensive end. He is a quarterback killer. Defensive end.
Okay. So he's trying to sack people, but yeah.
Exactly.
Very highly regarded and skilled. And he did something that I'm curious if you know how often it's been done, Dad. I don't know, but tell us what is important about his going to the Packers and the jersey he's wearing.
So he wears the number 1, which is kind of unusual for his position, by the way. And so when he left, he's always worn number 1, whatever, through college with the Cowboys. So I did research on this once you brought this up. So this is interesting. And we got a little funny name that this goes with. The number 1 had been officially retired. So I say both those words because it all depends which Green Bay Packer historian you follow and go with. There's 2 or 3 of them out there that have opinions. But here's how it was. As far as I'm concerned, it was retired for 99 years. So I think they pretty much accepted that it was, quote, retired. But interesting enough, it had not been worn since 1926. And here's the big news. It was worn by Curly Lambeau. Do you know the name of the field, the stadium there?
I know Lambeau Field. That's
Lambeau Field. So it's named after this guy. He's got the whole stadium named after him. And so what made him so important was he basically was a player, a general manager, and one of the principles of helping organize it and get the monies required and get a place to play to get them into the NFL ultimately. And so he was like
huge. Huge for Green Bay.
He is the godfather, founding father, you name it. That's who. And how do you not love the name? Curly Lambeau. I'd love to have been on the mic on that one, right? Curly Lambeau. Anyway, the 2 years, he only wore this number 2 years. The number 1 he only wore for 2 years. And it was at the end of his career. And who knows why he switched. They didn't say why. I guess, give or take, there's nobody. So you want to go a little deeper. There's some guys who've had their numbers that are still living, that have their numbers retired, that have had their numbers retired. And a guy will go there or get drafted there or have a trade there, and he wears that number. And quite often he'll go to that former player and either offer money to charity, offer this or that, or just ask for permission. And there's a lot of times that former player with class and dignity and say, sure, go ahead and wear it. We're good.
Okay.
But then there was one recently, I won't name names, can't remember everything, but I read it. He said, heck no. That wasn't quite what he said. But something to that message, you aren't going to wear my retired jersey. So that player didn't and couldn't. So it has a lot to do with each team. The team, you know what I mean? The team's got to, if the team wants that player bad enough, they're going to probably exercise a special exemption while we got this player. He can wear number 1 while he's here. After that, we'll put it back on the shelf. It all depends on the team ownership, management, and what they do, right?
Was it part of the deal, you think, to say, Micah, come play for us? Like, was it supposed to be an incentive, or is it just a privilege because he's so good? They're like, hey, we want to bestow this upon you.
Question. It's a great question. I think it's part of the deal. I think they probably had agreed upon that he could wear the number 1. That would be my guess.
I wonder, do you think it's more vanity in this case, or more like he loves Curly Lambeau and just wanted to honor his memory?
No, I don't think he had a clue who Curly Lambeau was.
He just wanted to be number 1.
Yeah, and players are superstitious. It's their number. It's one he always had.
Okay, I forgot you mentioned that. He always wore it before.
Yes. Anyway, so that's it. I just thought that I had to give you a little deeper. So a couple of the historians wrote, "Who cares about his jersey?" Excuse me. One more thing. He had the field named after him, stadium, but also there's a massive statue of Curly Lambeau in the front of the stadium. And they say, who cares about a stinking number he only wore for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
That was what a couple of the, quote, Green Bay Packer historians were saying. And that makes sense to me. I mean, like I said, 100 times squared is more important that he had the field name after him. He's got a big old statue versus the number he wore for 2 years.
He's got his glory. He got his, as they say.
So anyway, that's the scoop. And my tagline on that, I had not a big deal.
Okay.
Curly got his due.
Well, that's fair. Okay. Well, and really quick, you said it was that particular jersey was officially retired. So if a franchise officially, quote unquote, retires a jersey, like, is that, or a number, can it in theory never be restored again or used again?
Again, they're owners of the business of the team. They do whatever they want. Okay. But again, today, if the player's living that had his number retired, they'll go to him first, the player or the team or the organization.
So
and a lot of times, but most of them don't. Most of them that are retired, a new player coming, a lot of them accept that and just take a new number. There's some. Okay. They're not. Their egos aren't so. Let's put it this way. A big old monster offensive lineman gets traded over there, and some jersey that was retired from the 50s, he doesn't care. He said, instead of 65, I'll take 66. I don't care what you put on my, linemen, right? They're kind of that way. They'll live
a little
with
bit under the radar. Yeah,
exactly. You get a receiver, a quarterback, or a hot shot defensive end like, he is. I think they care a little bit more. It's that new generation, man. That's kind of the scoop. They can really do whatever they want.
Okay. Well, so it's really just a publicity thing, ceremonial thing almost.
Well, it means a lot. I think if you're a true diehard fan and the organization, it means a lot to the organization. I mean, it really does. I don't want to not say that. I'm saying they have ownership of it. You know what I mean? Okay. It's not like the NFL organization or there's some law out there. It's the organization's choice, right?
Yeah. It's true. Okay. Yeah, it's just a way to honor a player, basically.
Yep.
But you can do whatever you want with it. Okay. Well, yeah. Sorry to make you go on so long about that, but it's just a tradition. I've known it existed, but I never really understood the ins and outs. So thanks for taking the time. Okay, Dad. Well, let's get into our little bit of sports news here. And again, I want to let you go as soon as you can, but I put in our notes, college football. Anything important here? Is there anything you wanted to go over?
Yep, real quick. I got some notes, all right? Some thoughts and some notes. First, you know how, and I'm really regretting it already. Do you remember who I picked to win the national championship in college football?
Did you say Notre Dame?
No,
No.
which that would have been bad.
No,
too.
Michigan. You said Michigan,
no,
right?
I said Texas. I was back and forth. And I said Texas.
Right.
You
Because
said
Arch Manning.
Georgia. I'm starting to like your pick already.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so real quick, this is news. I mean, this is reverberating. So Arch Manning. So Texas has played 3 games. You remember the big one we had, Ohio State, and they lost, and he didn't look so great. They have played 2 itsy bitsy little teams since, right? The warm up ones. They got one more to go. The warm up. They played San Jose State the second game of the season. Last game they played UTEP, University of Texas at El Paso.
Okay.
So if you put a headline on this, I'd put rough start! Exclamation point. I mean, they play these little teams at home, right? They bring them in, pay them to beat up on them. Well, he had a bad third game. So this is the big news. You can put that somehow too. His home crowd already booed him. They booed him this past Saturday. So quickly, let me give you the numbers and we'll move on. But this is big news. This is big news in the college football.
Yeah.
And it's terrible
Why
news
would they
for
boo him?
Because he did this. He completed 11 of 25 passes. Horrific. You can't get worse than that almost. For a total of 114 yards.
Yeah, that's pretty light for like a star quarterback.
1 touchdown and 1 interception. This is against UTEP.
Oh, okay. So it's not that he like threw away the game. It's just that he performed so badly against
but it wasn't by that much either. They won some. I don't even care. 27. I mean, some terrible score.
But he was just bad.
Bad in his third game. And they got one more. They play Sam Houston this Saturday. So hopefully he'll get it warmed up and get going. But that's the quick hit on, if I were to say that part of the college. And the other thing I was going to homage to you here is, we had the big game that we're going to talk about with the NFL last week. That was the big game. But I slipped in there a little big college game. You probably only remember. It's your team that you chose for this year, Georgia at Tennessee, where there's 106,000 fans in orange and white. They look like a creamsicle when you look at that whole stadium. It's unbelievable. Well, so here's the stat. Georgia has now Tennessee was their equal years ago. Tennessee was always on the national, battle for the, but they've been out of it for a little while, but they got a good coach who was their former quarterback coaching them. They had Georgia and they just let them off the hook. So Georgia beat Tennessee in overtime 44-41.
Ooh,
and it was a heck of a game. So I'm kind of proud of that little extra college big game that we picked last week. But your team pulled it out. So here's the stat. Georgia has beaten now, you ain't going to believe it, since 2017, Tennessee has not beaten Georgia. Georgia has beaten Tennessee 17 of the last 18 times.
Ooh.
And they haven't won in 8 years.
Oh, that's got to hurt as a Tennessee
fan. And
fan.
had them beat. And they let them off the hook. Anyway, so that'd be my other big news. Yeah, that's my other big news. Real quick, if you don't mind, another hard hitter. This is down in our territory, right where I am right now, actually. Georgia Tech upset Clemson. That was the upset. You asked for an upset. That was an upset of large proportion. Because how many losses does Clemson now have?
I don't know.
2.
2 out of 3?
2 out of 3. I think they're all done unless they somehow go all the way through the ACC undefeated, win the championship in the ACC, and look awesome the rest of the year. Maybe they'll get an invite to the playoff, but it's not looking good.
Oh,
so that was kind of big. Notre Dame lost. That was a surprise loss. They're in trouble too. But so that's what I got from the college.
Okay, that's a good update. Yeah, for people not super into college football, maybe you won't care about all that, but it sounds like there's a lot of interesting. I mean, just our past couple weeks of episodes, there's been so many interesting upsets and losses and just surprises around both NFL and college football. So it's it's hard to keep up with all of it, but to keep it all straight in your head. But yeah, it seems like it's been a very exciting season so far.
But with all that played, I feel like we zeroed it down to the couple big things you talk about. If you hear it, you'll be able to clue into it anyway.
Everything you just said when I was at my in-laws' house for dinner yesterday, I heard mumblings of it with my brother-in-law and father-in-law. Oh, did you hear that about Notre Dame and Georgia? I think they even mentioned Georgia Tech and Clemson too. So yeah, you're on the money. It's being a fly on the wall in a sport lover's house. You're saying all the things that I'm hearing. So
nice.
Well, let's start to wrap this up and just talk NFL real quick. Let me just tell you the post I saw on social media, and you can tell the story. Paint the picture a little bit more. So you said last week that the game of the week was going to be Chiefs versus Eagles, Super Bowl rematch. Eagles won last time handedly and
crushed them. Yep.
Chiefs, they are led by, what's his name? Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
And the post I saw on Instagram said this was Patrick Mahomes' first 0-2 start since high school. So this is basically his losingest start to a season since high school, which is crazy.
Correct.
So anyways, so there's drama there that gives away who won, but I'll let you tell the rest of the story.
So I'm glad you set it up because it was our big game last week. It broke down to this. So the game, the Eagles beat them 20-17. But roll it back real quick. It came down to 2 plays. Remember we talk about this all the time, especially in the NFL and these great teams. It'll come down to 1 or 2 plays. It's crazy. Think about all the plays they have and how much play. So it came down. This one's going to hurt. It's going to really hurt. They might need to cover their ears, including your sister, Travis Kelce's girlfriend might, this is a rough week for her. I don't know how things went when they saw each other again, but I love Travis Kelce. But the Chiefs were down 13-10, driving downfield. Mahomes did one of his other, he's like a radar usually to Kelce when they get near the end zone. So they were near the end zone. Mahomes does what he always does, threw it a little bit low in front of Kelce, right at the end zone, like 1 yard in front. That big body, all he has to do is catch it and fall forward. Touchdown, they take the lead. This is all in the fourth quarter. Kelce reached down, and he didn't get it clean, and he bobbled it. And here's the rule of all receivers. You just when you're bobbling, trying to get it, you can't throw it up in the air, like bump in the air, because what's going to happen? There's always defenders right around them.
Oh, yeah.
So, intercepted on the 1 yard line where they were going to score and take the lead, and just like you expect them to win the game, and they run it out to like the 40-yard line. Then the Eagles grind it down, and here's the second play that changed the whole outcome of the game. So they would have been up 17-13, right? If they'd scored. I mean, if you just catch it, falling in the zone, Chiefs would have been up 17-13. Instead, it flips around. Eagles drive all the way down, and on 4th and inches, that means inches to get into the goal, to get in to score a touchdown. 4th and inches, they already done one of these, but they did their tush push and scored and took the lead 20
Signature Eagles move.
20-10.
Okay.
Crazy. Chiefs have like 3.5 minutes or so, 4 minutes. They got their timeouts. They start working downfield, but they don't look so good. I mean, they're barely making play. And then Mahomes magic, baby. Everyone's in trouble. Like 4th down, 3rd down, 4th down. He threw a 49-yard touchdown pass with 2 minutes to go.
Wow.
And so it's now 20-17.
Okay.
But they failed. The only thing they could do then, they had no timeouts. They kicked an onside kick. Do you remember about that? Onside kick?
Yeah. Where you try to,
10 yards, right?
Kicks it
10
short.
yards.
Yeah.
Hope they fumble it and you get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It failed. It didn't even go 10 yards. Eagles ball, victory formation. Remember what victory formation is? When they just each
I don't
down.
Really get how it works.
Yeah.
They just the quarterback takes a knee so that it makes the clock run.
Keeps running. Yep. And then they snap it again do it again, and then the clock runs out. They had 3 downs to do it. So that was it. Two plays, all on the same series, if you will. Offensive and defensive series. At the end of the game, 2 plays cost the Chiefs.
That does hurt.
Does that not hurt?
Yeah, I guess Taylor Swift probably doesn't love Travis Kelce anymore after that. But
I'm pretty sure they're together. I'm just saying. I think your mother even mentioned, she goes, "Ooh, I wonder how he's going to go home tonight." It could be rough. But anyway, we joke with that, but it was rough. So that's what made up that game. Mahomes' magic for the first time in a long, long time was too little, too late, as they say. Too little, too late. Right. So that's the scoop. And there's some other good games, by the way, of course.
Right.
That's our big game.
It sounded like a pretty fun weekend, but if you're a football fan, I was gonna say, Kansas City. If they've lost twice now, what are their chances looking like at going all the way the rest of the season?
You are so good. You're like a pro sports guy now. You really are. Because that's the final thing I was going to share. So the odds are, out of thousands of games, when you start many, 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 many thousands of games, you start 0-2, you have less than 10% chance to make the playoffs.
Okay. So they technically could. I'm guessing they'll have to win like every single game from here on.
Yeah, they need to win their division. They're probably not going to win it in a wild card, but they win their division. So, which they can. Okay. They still can. They lost to the Chargers. That's their division. But anyway, so it's a rough time in KC right now.
Shoot. Yeah, after so many exciting years, that's it's tough to start to see the downfall a little bit.
Next week we'll talk about some of the injuries. We don't have time tonight, but there are some key injuries to a couple quarterbacks.
You got me in a little bit of trouble because I was talking to Craig, my father-in-law, yesterday. They were asking what your game of the week was. I said Chiefs Eagles. Yeah, they said, who do you guys think would win? I said, well, we're thinking Eagles because we're hearing. I said I'm hearing there's a lot of injuries on the Chiefs right now.
Yeah,
and Craig said, oh, who? And I said, Craig, we don't get that far into it on the podcast. I'm sorry. So he gave up on me at that point. But
yeah, Worthy and Rasheed Rice. I knew who they were, but we can't go that far. Yeah,
I think you actually I think you even mentioned them. I just wasn't paying attention.
Sure, but you don't need to. That's why you have me. That's why we did. We're all right.
So anyway, I got tested and failed. So that was
you didn't need to know that. You just don't call me.
All right. My dad will fight for me. Well, we can wrap it up if you want. I just had one more. Well, I guess we have 2 more questions. I wanted to ask.
We got the game for this week, and I got a couple of them.
Okay. Well, why don't we skip to that? But next week, the question I want to address is, what's the deal with Green Bay Packers and why are they suddenly so good? Or have they always been good? But it seems like right now they're tearing up everyone they play. So maybe that'll be a teaser for next week. Okay.
Yep.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, because your mother just texted me and said this is way more than 10 minutes. So I got to go. I got to go play some games on the phone.
All right. Well, Dad, this week, what is the big game?
NFL, baby. And there's not a lot of good ones, but this is a good one. It's going to be one of the teams we had last week. Los Angeles Rams versus Philadelphia Eagles. They're both 2-0. Rams have an incredible defense. Their quarterback's older and injured, but he's still up there fighting and looks good. That's the big game this week. Little college big game. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just said another Eagles game, huh?
Yep. If you look at the lineup, this is it. This is the one. And it means a lot to both of these teams. It's going to be a brouhaha. Because the Eagles are so physical and rough and tumble, but that defense on the Rams, they're going to give it to them. So anyway, I think if you look at the matchups, that's the best game of the week.
Okay.
Real quick college. I want you to get something on not think much about it, but be looking. The college, because there's 9 great games this week on college, but this will be a great one if you love football. Number 22 Auburn versus number 11 Oklahoma. Oklahoma's on the rise. By Stockton, Oklahoma.
I've been hearing whisperings of Oklahoma, yeah.
Their head coach is the former crazy, unbelievably successful defensive coordinator for Clemson. He's the one. Do you remember the coach that would run on the field and he had one guy assigned to him to grab his britches and pull him back? You remember that at all? So he wouldn't get a penalty? That's the guy. He is crazy.
He had a person assigned to him to pull him back?
Absolutely. Go back. All you got to do is look up film, look up Clemson, and put guy who has to pull coach back off the field. That's his only assignment every game. And go look at some of that video. You'll die laughing.
Okay, I will. Sorry for the coughing. We got another cold last week, so I've been, sorry if my voice sounded funny tonight. Well, okay, those are great. I'll let you get back to the family over there.
Yep.
And have a great
You did great.
And...
Great setup. It was all great. Thanks for taking time.
Of course. Miss you guys, and we'll talk later.
All right. Love you, Coop.
Love you.
SportSense.